It happens in an instant, almost like a switch. You're standing on the street, and suddenly the world disappears. No blinking, no pain. There's simply no sight. People clutch their faces in panic, cars crash into each other, and sound becomes the only way to understand what's happening. A world created for the eyes instantly turns into a meaningless labyrinth, where every step could be your last. Within hours, megacities become death traps. Escalators stop working, people fall in droves. Trains remain stuck in tunnels. Planes no longer return from the sky. Buildings suddenly become enormous stone cages without doors. To exit, you first need to figure out where you are. And no one knows anymore. People scream, calling to each other, but the city produces too much noise. You can hear everything: stuck elevators, sirens blaring non-stop, crowds wandering in panic. Sight has always given power over chaos. Now the world has disintegrated into an endless stream of noise. Panic slowly gives way to impotent terror. Hospitals are turning into disasters. Doctors can't see their equipment, can't find their instruments, and don't know where their patients are. Intensive care units are at a standstill. Pure chaos reigns in the wards. People call for help, but no one knows who is who. Blindness is destroying medicine faster than any epidemic. The deaf, once considered limited, are now becoming an elite. Those who navigated their entire lives without hearing or sight possess skills that ordinary people never suspected. They are the ones who calmly navigate rooms, navigate by their steps, and know how to survive in the dark. They become the conduits of civilization. After a few days, the first groups of survivors form. Listening is the most important skill. Without vision, the world is divided into zones, dangerous plains, empty squares, corridors between buildings. The city is rebuilt not physically, but in their minds. People create a picture of the world from sound. People can't find stores. They can't navigate their way around. They can't tell what products they're holding. Warehouses are overflowing, streets are empty. Hunger sets in, not because there's no food, but because no one can see it. People are beginning to understand that vision isn't just a picture. It's the ability to move. Every turn can lead to a fall, a blow, an injury. The world seems hostile, and every object has become a potential weapon. Even one's own home turns into a trap. Politicians disappear, literally. They can't navigate buildings, can't get online, can't govern. The economy collapses. States are transformed into helpless structures, unable to explain even the simplest things to people. What's going on? The only working channel of communication is sound. Radio stations begin broadcasting around the clock, explaining to people how to survive. Sound maps, instructions, descriptions of landmarks, everything becomes more valuable than gold. Voice becomes a new form of light. After a few weeks, people no longer fall as often. They count their steps, mark walls, learn to see through echoes. Some even discover abilities they hadn't noticed before: a fine auditory memory, a sensitivity to direction. Cities, like organs, begin to resonate. Every street has its own timbre. Narrow ones are louder, wide ones are softer, intersections resonate. For the first time, people understand how loud the world has always been, they just haven't heard it. Sound cartographers. Acoustic conductors. Navigators listeners. The world is being restructured. Work that was once considered strange now becomes vital. It is these people who are creating a new coordinate system, an invisible map of the planet. All technologies created for the eye become useless. Phones, computers, cameras are no longer tools, but simply heavy rectangles. The internet is dying not because it's disconnected, but because no one can use it. Digital civilization disappears overnight. Without sight, any sound can become a deadly lie. One wrong word, and a person goes the wrong way. One accidental echo, and a crowd heads for the cliff. A whisper becomes a command, and the voice becomes power. For the first time, people understand how fragile hearing is. Some begin to use their powerful voices to control others. They speak confidently, loudly, calmly, and blind crowds follow them. They promise safety, a path, food, meaning. The first dangerous sects arise. In a world without eyes, the voice is God. Cities are rebuilt for hearing, soft walls, echo chambers, tactile landmarks, sound beacons. Houses become like musical instruments. To go outside, people listen to the air flow through arches and pipes. Architects become acousticians. When you can't see your child's face, when you don't know who stands before you, when your voice changes with fear, family ceases to be an anchor. People lose loved ones literally in the next room. Domestic conflicts reach their peak, no one recognizes anyone else. Without sight, people begin to hear the world differently. Music ceases to be entertainment. It becomes a map of emotions, a way to communicate, a way to navigate. Musicians appear who create compositions that allow one to navigate the city. Music becomes a new coordinate system. Within months, blindness ceases to be a catastrophe, it becomes a part of life. People develop superhearing, a sense of touch, the ability to sense vibrations in the floor, air movement, and smells. The world that was once visible becomes sensory. Humanity evolves without the help of nature. Professional, footstep listeners appear, people with a phenomenal memory for the sounds of doors, people, and animals. Cities are filled with signs that cannot be seen but can be felt with the fingers. Gadgets are replaced by bracelets that create vibration maps of space. Painting, film, photography, all disappear. Museums become meaningless. People who have spent their lives creating visual art experience an identity crisis. The world no longer belongs to the eyes. Now all cultures will be born from sound and touch. Noise, once an irritant, is now a guide. Buses sound like giant musical notes. Pedestrian crossings become pulsating sound ports. Drones are converted into sound beacons to fly over the streets and help navigate. The city acquires a rhythm. Without sight, it is impossible to hurry. Transportation is slow. People are slow. Life itself stops rushing forward. People begin to listen more, feel more, understand each other more. The world has become dark, but for the first time in a long time, it has become calm. People are no longer divided by appearance, race, clothing, status. Beauty has disappeared as a concept. Only voices, gestures, touch, character remain. For the first time, humanity is becoming truly equal. What once divided has now lost its meaning. Blindness deprived people of peace, but gave them another, auditory, tactile, honest. People learned to live without eyes, and realized that vision had never been the most important thing. The most important thing has always been to feel. After a few weeks, people begin to notice something strange, the brain seems to open new channels. People who have never trained their hearing suddenly hear a needle drop in the next apartment. Those who previously barely detected smells can now identify who walked down the street 5 minutes ago. Some begin to guess the location of objects almost perfectly, not by sight, but by something else. Scientists suggest that the brain activates backup neural networks that were turned off by vision. Blindness becomes not only a catastrophe but also a catalyst for evolution, the fastest in human history. Cities are creating special training centers, schools where people learn to live in complete darkness. There, they teach orientation by clicking their tongues, like bats. They teach how to distinguish 200 types of footsteps, 50 types of building ventilation, and dozens of sound reflections. Children are brought there immediately, they adapt faster than adults, becoming the blind navigators of a new generation. These schools are not silent, but a constant symphony of sounds. People begin to sense space almost physically. The blind person of the future is no longer helpless, but hypersensitive. Engineers are creating urban infrastructure for the visually impaired. Sound walls, talking traffic lights, smart roads that sing as you walk on them. Elevators no longer have buttons, they respond to voices. Doors make a sound when opening and closing. Even stores become musical, each department plays its own rhythm. A city of stone and glass is transformed into a vast musical instrument, where every object communicates itself through sound. For the visually impaired, this is almost a new kind of vision. A year passes. The world has not regained its sight, but it has regained itself. People have become more attentive to each other. They listen, not look. They sense the world more deeply than ever. Blindness ceases to be a catastrophe, it becomes a new way of being. And somewhere in the silence of this changed world, people understand for the first time. Have we always truly seen? Or have we simply looked, not noticing?